An FDA advisory panel still in a hearing, voting right now on whether to recommend Moderna's vaccine for emergency use. Final FDA approval could happen as soon as tomorrow, giving the U.S. 2 approved drugs to fight COVID-19, and it could not come at a better time. We are coming off a record-shattering day in this pandemic. The U.S. adding more than 232,000 new COVID cases yesterday, nearly 3,300 Americans dying from the virus. In just 2 months, the number of cases in our country has more than doubled. In October, just over 8 million Americans had tested positive for COVID. We're now past 17 million. The Assistant Health Secretary, Admiral Brett Giroir, reminding us we may have a vaccine and another on the way, but this is still a very dangerous time.
We are sort of in a strange duality. We see the end of the pandemic in sight as tens of millions of people get immunized. But as you point out, we're at a critical and dangerous part of the pandemic right now. What happens over the next 6 weeks really depends a lot on what we as individuals do. Overall in the country, the mortality rate is horrific.
We've also learned that Vice President Mike Pence and Second Lady Karen Pence will get the coronavirus vaccine tomorrow morning. The Vice President, the most high-profile person to get publicly vaccinated in our country so far. NBC News correspondent Tom Costello is here. He has been following this FDA advisory panel's hearing. Tom, where's VRBPAC on this vaccine right now?
Just now voted. The vote is 20 in favor, 1 abstain. So it is by far passing even faster and more readily than the Pfizer vaccine a week ago. And I will tell you that there was some conversation among the committee members, all meeting virtually on a Zoom session. And you can imagine how aggravating that can be when you've got 21 people on the Zoom. But they have some concerns that what they're voting on is going to be misunderstood by the public, by you and by me and everybody else. They are not voting to approve Moderna. They are recommending that the FDA offer emergency authorization of the Moderna vaccine. Now, that may sound like, you know, we're playing games here, semantics, but the bottom line is this is an outside advisory panel. They can't actually make the decision. What they can do is review the data and suggest to the FDA yay or nay, and they've said yay. They believe that this is a very good vaccine that is showing as much efficacy as the Pfizer vaccine. And so with that, the FDA will probably act tomorrow. We expect them to vote to approve to go ahead and approve the vaccine as soon as tomorrow, which means the Moderna vaccine will start to roll out as soon as Monday, 6 million doses or so on Monday. That's in addition to the Pfizer vaccine, which continues to ramp up and roll out, Allison.
All right, so Tom, some pretty good news tonight. It looks like we are at the very least heading in the right direction with vaccines, even though we are still struggling with the pandemic in this country.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right. And listen, everybody who is anybody in this business, whether you are Dr. Fauci, whether you are the people who are at the top of these universities doing the research, they've all said the only way we collectively are going to get out of this is to have the vaccine that allows us to have about 75 to 85% quote-unquote herd immunity, when more and more of the population has had the vaccine and is immune to the virus. The good news is that this Moderna vaccine does seem to provide protection against the infection after a single dose, although, just like Pfizer, they do want 2 doses for everybody. So you'll get the vaccine, you'll come back 2 to 3 weeks later for the follow-up. And, oh, by the way, they are stressing, please, continue to wear your mask, even if you get that vaccine. Why? First of all, they don't have 100% knowledge yet that, in fact, you are going to no longer shed the virus to somebody else, right? You may be immune from it, but could you still carry it and shed it to your grandparents? They don't know that yet. Please wear this. And they say, you know, we have a lot of people who are immunocompromised right now, so it's better that we all continue to safeguard ourselves and each other. My own daughter, I will tell you, is a NICU nurse, and she is supposed to get the vaccine tomorrow. She and everybody on her staff going through the priority groups of healthcare workers who are going to be vaccinated. And then, of course, we know that already nursing home residents are also being vaccinated.
Yeah. Well, Tom, best of luck to her. I hope that goes really well tomorrow. And your reminder is so important about the masks. I think the one thing we have learned throughout this pandemic is you just can't be too careful.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.